All right, let's take a
Cheers.
little cheers.
Of course.
Hell yeah. Ooh, shout out Josh for that whiskey. Welcome back, guys.
Yes, sir.
What is up, everyone? Welcome to another episode here at Voiced Podcast. I'm your host, Charles Sabiaga, and today we welcome back our recent guest back in season 3 of Gordo's Hot Chicken. We got Mario and Alex on the set. How are you guys doing today?
We're doing great.
Hell yeah, man. I'm so excited for you guys to be here because I've watched you guys grow. I mean, dude, you guys' social media is off the charts. You guys are popping. You guys doing the trends. You guys doing funny. Every time I look at it, it's always entertaining for me, right? Yeah. So as far as that end, we touched back into your story a while back, right? We got to know a little bit what Gordo's Hot Chicken was before you guys started popping. You guys were the first ever hot chicken joint in the area before all these other ones started popping up. And I think I saw somewhere from a video recently that you guys had this idea that you wanted to be that because you understood that LA was creeping up very slowly. Yep. Right? So let's recap a little bit. What has happened since 3 years ago?
Well, a lot has happened. A lot of fun stuff. A lot of growth. We've met more people. A lot of interesting people. Right. Yes. A couple of famous people too. So we've had the opportunity to be featured on different channels. For example, one big one was the Thick Boy Studios, the Food Truck Diaries.
Oh, yeah.
And we got to meet 2 UFC fighters, and they got to try the food. But honestly, one of the biggest things that has happened is just meeting so many people and just new friends left and right every week.
Building that community, huh?
Yeah, exactly.
Are you guys? You guys are big into fight, like a MMA or anything like that? Yeah, I do see that. Okay, cool. Yeah, I did see you guys included a couple people in there, which I thought was pretty cool.
Yeah.
And you guys have been around as well.
Yeah. Well, that's probably one of the best parts about this, that we've been UFC fans since middle school, and it's crazy that who knew like years later we would be feeding some of our favorite fighters.
That's fucking dope, and that's what brand gives you guys.
Yep.
Right. So as far as with Gordo's Hot Chicken, I mean, like how has that pivoted for you guys?
Well, I mean, since the last time we were here, how long have we been doing it for?
So we turned
COVID, right?
Yeah. So we celebrated 4 years in April.
Yeah.
Okay.
So we just had our anniversary.
It's been cool. How we always say is the first year we learned how to run the business. The second year we're trying to run the business. The third year we ran the business, and now we're starting to mature. You get me? Right. I'm not saying we have everything dialed in
for sure. Compared never, right?
Yeah, right. But everything has changed for the better, right? One big thing we were able to do that took us a while to learn, that every business owner will eventually get to that point, or hopefully, is we don't work in the business anymore. We kind of work on it, if that makes sense.
I love that.
Up until maybe like a year ago, since we stepped out of the truck, we were the ones that were frying the chicken. We still make all the recipes in the morning, obviously, right? Because quality control and all that. But we don't, once we open the windows, we don't work there anymore.
Right.
And it's crazy. Obviously, we got to pay more wages and stuff.
For sure.
But we've been able to focus on the business instead of in the business. Our stress levels obviously went down.
Yeah, I mean, dude, you lost freaking weight. Yeah, dude, that's amazing.
Yeah. Well, yeah, that's the thing, right? So, like, we were able to, all right, step back. Let's focus on the things we didn't focus on when we were building this business. Right. Health is a huge one, right? Because obviously, when you're sleeping like 4 hours, it's easy to wake up, go to McDonald's, drink like 7 energy drinks. You get me? And you're just...
And imagine you guys guys make your own food.
Exactly. Yeah, that's a hard part. But yeah, so we've been able to focus on our health. A big one that we were able to refocus on is the social media. Yeah. Because now we have this free time to where before we might just post maybe like one post a week. Now we're able to do the social media trends and all that, Yeah. So it's been a cool, like, after the fact, seeing how different things are from working in the business to working on the business.
Okay, cool. So when you guys working on the business, right? Obviously, you mentioned the first year you're trying an idea out, right? I remember going to your house and picking up those food. Oh, dude, it was good. I love coming back, and I love the fact that every time I come in there, I feel so welcomed. Yeah, it's just like a value that you guys provide, and I think that's why a lot of people continue to come back and support you guys and advocate for you guys. And that's like the ultimate aspect when it comes down to marketing. It's like, how do we get people to start advocating for your products and services? You know, and it comes down to what you guys represent. A while back, you guys mentioned it was the customer service.
Well, I mean,
right? You guys emphasized on that.
It still is, right?
Yeah,
I mean,
it really is.
Yeah. So let's dive deep on that. I mean, like, you guys obviously saw that, right? Would you guys say that type of direction for your business amplified the growth for your business?
It really did. Yeah, it's just making sure that everyone was happy as soon as they got there and once they left. And if there was ever an issue, we just made sure to correct it. Even if it meant just, a free plate. Yeah. The next time
you guys give me too much free shit.
No, it's all good. But yeah, just making sure that people leave happy, you know, like they're providing their hard-earned money to us, and we just have to be nice. You know?
Like it's hard to comprehend when you're running a business, right?
Yeah, because you got to look at numbers and everything.
Yeah, but we've kind of agreed that obviously we do it for the money, but not everything we do running this business is for the money, right?
For sure.
Like, one big thing we started doing again last year is we just don't charge for our Gordo sauce, right? Because I mean, now even McDonald's charges how much? Like
25 cents.
Bro, what's it called? Burning Mouth. They charged me for extra sauce. I was just like, dude, I just want extra sauce. Yeah, or whatever. I'm hungry.
And it's like little things like that. Like, another thing, we finally, after like years, added something to our menu. Something small. You could just add corn, like corn to any plate you want. It's a free add-on. Why? Because it's genuinely, we could charge 50 cents for it and we can make money off of it, or the sauce. But it's genuinely a way of us telling our customers, thank you, like you said, for giving us your hard-earned money whenever, because I mean, it means a lot. We see all these guys and girls after work stop by the truck to get food. We know they're about to go home and share this food with their family. It means a lot to us. So like, us being able to do things like that, where it's not all about the money, that I hope it shows our customers that we're very appreciative of them.
Absolutely.
And it's not about the money, you know?
And, you know, I want to share my experience with other restaurants. I would say a majority of them don't have the customer service, you know, emphasized. They just don't have that pinpoint. Yeah. And, you know, whether I understand a lot of handling employees' orders and managing all that, it gets hard to be able to communicate that. Yeah. You know, I think that's one of the most important things, especially in the services industry. Yeah. Right?
Yeah.
So, I mean, like, for you guys also, I've also seen that you guys replicate it with your team. Yeah. Because I've been there a couple of times, you know, I feel like getting some Gordos today. And then I don't see you guys, I'm like, oh. But then I still get that. I still feel like I get that energy that you guys would, right? How do you guys teach your team to be able to replicate the same thing? How do you get them to even get motivated to do that?
Well, honestly, one big factor is you can't really motivate someone unless they're actually willing to actually be there. So maybe a way to motivate them is not to demotivate them. You know, just treating them with respect and acknowledging how we have to treat others. And if they're willing to do that, then they're just going to do it on their own.
For sure.
And it's just up to us just not to demotivate them. You know, they're there, they're already motivated, they're ready to work. And it's just us providing the proper work atmosphere and just treating people with respect.
When you say demotivate, are you referencing like punishing them for doing the wrong things?
Well, yeah, obviously we've worked just normal jobs in the past. I used to be a server at a restaurant, and if you show up late, you get in trouble. Obviously, life happens. Life happens. There isn't a day that's perfect. So if you're gonna punish someone for being 5 minutes late, 10 minutes late, there's no point, because they're already in a bad mood for whatever circumstance happened that day. So if you even punish them even more, they're gonna put in less effort. So you know, there's almost every day someone shows up a little bit late. We have two options: either you give them a punishment, or you just say, you know what, it's all good. You know, as long as you're here now, and that's all that matters. So,
and also, when the team has suggestions of improvements to us, that's a big one, where we don't let our ego get in the way, right? Like, what have they, you know, like there's certain, we have a system, right? It's like a food line, right? Yeah. But sometimes our employees, they'll tell us, hey, have you guys thought of doing it like this? We never let our ego get in the way, right? Even though they're the ones that are doing it, they know what front line. Exactly. We always take their suggestions, like if it was me suggesting it or him. Absolutely. You get me? And I mean, they know that we respect them and we wish them the best. And we have a lot of them that are taking off to college, and we wish them the best. And like we try to give them advice. I mean, we're 26. You're 26, right?
Yeah, I forget that sometimes.
But I mean, because it's weird because I was 21, you were 20, right? When we first started Gordo's Hot Chicken.
Fuck, man, you guys are. I wouldn't say I'm jealous. I would say, damn, I wish I was in the same path, you know? But like, that's awesome. Yeah, like the best time to start any business is in your 20s, you know? Because like, you never know what can happen, right?
But I mean, it was just kind of, it wasn't planned, huh?
No, not at all. We're just going with the flow.
Going with the flow, yeah.
We just acknowledged that we had nothing to lose.
Yeah.
Okay.
You know?
Okay. Cool.
And cool. I saw a TikTok. It was one of those motivational ones. It's like you just got to throw yourself at whatever you want to do, because the more you think about it, the more reasons you're going to give yourself not to do it, right?
Right.
We were 21.
I'm so big on that.
Right? We were young. Maybe we took a lot of risks that we wouldn't do now because we were like, well, we have literally nothing to lose, right?
Yeah.
And I mean, it worked out and it did teach us, and that's what we try to tell our crew. It's like, look, college, you're going to go into college. Don't be afraid to try new things. Like we try to tell them, it's like, it doesn't matter. Like me, right? Well, we both graduated from CSUN. I went in as an electrical engineer. I failed maybe 10 classes my first 2 years.
Engineer?
Yeah. Yeah, that's why. So I failed 10 classes my first 2 years, right? And then the counselor told me, is like, hey, buddy, you should probably switch your major or you're going to get dropped from the school. So I was like, damn, what should I do? And I graduated with a marketing degree. The reason why I did marketing was because I was listening to a podcast, walking to the counselor's office. And one of the hosts, just by chance, he said, yeah, I graduated with a marketing degree. So I was like, oh, well, I'll do that.
What was it?
What podcast?
Yeah, what podcast it was?
It's an old video game one called Painkiller Already. It's like super old.
Interesting.
Yeah.
I was just curious.
Yeah. But I mean, you get me, and it just kind of, it's part of like life where you don't know what's going to happen.
Yeah.
Because I mean, I went to school, wanted to be an electrical engineer. But in the end, I graduated with a marketing degree, and I have like a job that I guess is kind of related to marketing, but it's totally unexpected, right? Like you didn't think you were gonna.
What did you study?
I started at Oxford College, and I was doing chemistry to be a pharmacist.
Yep.
So it was a second year. Yeah, it was a second year, and I failed calculus too, and I was gonna fail physics too. So I just changed, and then eventually the same route. You know. We both we've always been good friends and everything. So then talking to like other guys at OC at the time, and a lot of people were doing marketing or business or comms, and I was like, well, what's the easiest? The easiest turned out to be comms, and I just stuck to it.
So you went to comms too as well. That's right. I remember now. Yeah, I mean, I went the same route. So I started off with marine biology. That was my focus at the time, and then I ended up taking a chemistry class that I didn't study for, and there was a test halfway through. I was like, I did not study enough for this. And I turned it in like halfway finished, and then I dropped out the next day.
No, I mean, right, but it's weird how everyone has similar experiences like that, right?
Right.
But then that's a big thing. It's like you don't know where your life's gonna take you. And when they would tell me that when I was young, I was like, well, what do you mean you don't know where life's gonna take you? You're obviously planning everything you do is planned. You know where you're gonna end up. You never know. You get me? And like, it took us multiple, or I guess I'll talk about myself, right?
Right.
Multiple failures, like failing all those classes, switching majors. They told me I was gonna graduate in 8 years. I had to just like take 21 units a semester. I did it in 4.5. A bunch of failures to end up where like I'm genuinely happy, because all throughout university, I had huge imposter syndrome. Like huge. I would try to do like the marketing club. So I was in the marketing club, the Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu club. That one was perfect. I love you guys. The marketing club, the video graphic club, I guess. And I try to be like a chair member. So I was like the marketing guy of the marketing club and the video club. Gotcha. And I always felt like I was pretending to be someone I wasn't, because it's like, you guys know what you're doing here in college and stuff. And I'm like, I'm barely surviving and stuff. So I was miserable. And comparing my life then to what it is now, where like I genuinely love every day, it's crazy. Because,
I love that.
Yeah, the journey, that. The journey where it leads you. And it's like, wow, I'm like genuinely happy now. And I never thought I would get over that imposter syndrome, you know?
It's so weird because people think that getting into business would mean more more suffering.
Yeah.
In that sense, you do, right?
Yeah, but
let's be honest, we kind of like that suffering.
Yeah, because
we're working towards something.
Exactly.
We're working towards something that we desire,
that you want to. You get me? Because you tell them how you were at Sage.
Similar story. We even joke about the imposter syndrome because you get to a point where if you're like super corporate, but if you're like coming into a corporate setting and growing up in South Oxford, it's like you can't relate to anybody in that corporate setting, especially like working like in I was working in a publishing company called Sage Publishing, and like everyone, everyone that I would speak to, it was just no like topic of conversation. So it pretty much just led to me, in reality, just like going about my day and like not socializing at all. So it was not fun at all, and it was interesting.
Transactional, would you say?
Yeah, the actual the position, because as you go deeper into like your corporate career, you imagine that that's what you want up until you get there, and once you get there, you realize that it's not that fun.
Yeah,
and it's 8 hours of a screen, and then like corporate talk if there's any conversations, you know.
That's so fun, guys.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So I just realized that I didn't necessarily enjoy it, and I think that's what led to not being scared of trying out Gordos, because we knew that we already had something to fall back on.
Yeah.
And if it didn't work out, it didn't work out. But at least we were able to try it, and it was a lot more fun than working in an office.
Yeah, and I love that, you know, because like not to downplay anybody who decides to work in a corporate. I mean, if you love what you're doing, fucking amazing.
Yeah.
But if you're doing it, if you're doing it just to get a paycheck and you find yourself unhappy on a daily basis, I tried going for that route. You know, get into the marketing and the sales route and just looking for a position. But I've never been more happier. Even though I'm not like at the position that I want to be at, there's always kinks to like improve on, right?
Yeah.
But I've never been more happier.
Yeah.
You know?
And that's one thing we've talked about. We don't bash corporate, right? Because I tell him all the time, it's like,
you
man,
want to work with corporates.
Yeah, like, but it's like, I kind of wonder how my life would have been in corporate, like the corporate life, right? But it's just, it's not that we're bashing on it. It's just that imposter syndrome that gets in the way where you're like, where you feel like you don't belong there, but it's like, dude, you belong there as much as anyone else, right?
Yeah. And I feel like we would have gotten acclimated to it eventually once you actually settle in some more. But for you to be like fresh out of college or still in college and then get an internship, it's just a whole new world.
Yeah. Wow, that's awesome. Yeah, I totally agree with you guys, especially on that end. I mean, when it comes down to pursuing going back into what you said, right? Uncertainty. You never know what's going to happen. I think a lot of people try to create that certainty. But honestly, like, if you really face uncertainty more often, you become more kind of accustomed.
Oh, yeah.
I want to find those things that I don't know about.
Yeah.
You know, which leads to curiosity, which leads to the fun side. And
Yep.
eventually, at least from my experience, I start to look for things that like, whoa, I don't know what's going on here, but I want to find out.
Exactly. Yeah. That curiosity kind of fuels itself, you know, because you kind of start to wonder, like, for example, when we first started Gordo's, right?
Yeah.
I would always wonder, it's like, it's simple stuff, right? This is a perfect example. I was like, okay, we're going to start selling hot chicken. Where can like civilians like us buy French fries, cases of French fries? You get it? Because I didn't know. Like, my first job was at McDonald's, so I knew there was like boxes of French fries, but I thought you would need like certain permits and licenses to try to buy like wholesale, right?
Yeah,
wholesale. Yeah. But then it's like, hey, dude, like anything like this. Okay, this is one big thing I learned. You can do anything you want. Like anything you need for a business or whatever, it's online. They sell it online.
Absolutely.
Like you can get as specific as you want. Like if you want like let's car washing, right? If you want a certain brush that will brush the outside of the car but it won't scratch it, just look it up on Google and it's gonna be there, right? Yeah.
Easier.
So it's like your curiosity will feed itself. It's like, okay, well, we found these French fries. What about an industrial fryer? Do they sell those online? They do.
Yeah.
You get me? So like, yeah, like you said, like your curiosity feeds itself and it helps you grow. Yeah.
And I think it also like allows you to really see what the quality of life can be.
Yeah.
And I think it sucks because a lot of people get kind of accustomed into thinking that they have to live a certain way, but then they realize, why am I so unhappy? Then it projects into all the other things in their life when in actuality, if they just explore their curiosity more, you never know what's gonna happen. Like shit. Like I didn't think I would start an agency. I didn't think I would work with these guys here. But the reason I did is because I explored something that I was interested in. I wanted to hear people's stories. I wanted to hear people's voices. And here I am with you guys.
Right. But okay, this is another big thing. I don't. So okay, the way this duo works, he's like the ballsy one. I don't know if I can say that. Okay. Yeah, he's a ballsy one. I'm the more like, all right, let's chill. Let's see what facts, what we can do, right?
Okay, that's a good balance.
It works because he's the one that will be like, okay, let's go into this restaurant, see how much they want, and they'll give us a price, and he'll be like, let's do it. And I'm all like, okay, well, let's check the numbers. Can we afford it, right? So, and if it was up to me, if it was just by myself, I don't think I would be able to do this because I'd be too reserved to making sure our safety net is there to take the type of risks that he takes, right? But since he is down to take massive risks.
I love that.
Right? Yeah.
Let's go, Alex.
Right?
I'm that guy.
Yeah. And I'm the safety net. It works out perfectly. But that's all that being said.
That's interesting.
Yeah. If whoever's listening to this and you're afraid to take risks, I'm afraid to take risks too, right? I've slowly learned it's okay. And
or you have a better way of assessing risk.
Yes, because in the end, what's the worst that can happen?
True.
You'll go into debt. Like obviously don't
get into debt that you can't manage.
Yeah, exactly. Obviously don't if you're gonna take a risk, don't buy $100,000 like tractor, right? Take small risks. Like take like if let's say you want to go into screen printing, buy that $2,000 machine. If it doesn't work out, you're out $2,000, right? And it's okay. You get me? Everyone, you need to take risks to find the green pastures. You get me?
Yeah. And also maybe you might explore something you never know. Exactly. So then that gets me curious. Like for your type of guys' business, obviously you guys already took the risk, which is starting the business in the first place, and going off with your brand, putting your faces everywhere, left and right, going freaking viral, and then introducing yourself to the customers. At this time of age, what does that type of risk on a day-to-day basis look like for you guys? Hey everyone, I'm very proud to represent our sponsor for this podcast. We're actually located here in Santa Paula inside A+ Branding. They're your one-stop shop for promotional supply products such as t-shirts, custom hats, custom apparels, you name it, they brand it. A+ Branding provides all your promotional needs. They also provide vinyl decals such as stickers. They even did this wall here for me to make sure that this room is branded properly, to make sure that the guests that do come here feels that experience. Make sure to go ahead and check out A+ Branding. You can check them out at their website, aplusbranding.com, and you can go ahead and request a quote from them. Now back to the show.
Oh, like all the legal work, right?
Legal work, okay.
For the most part.
Like just it's at this point it's more monetary risks, right? Like okay, like into a restaurant, right? Like what was the most expensive one that we got quoted?
The most expensive one that we've been quoted has been $12,000 a month for 2,000 square feet.
Yeah.
Oh, like gosh. So. Backtrack. You guys are looking for a restaurant.
Yeah. Well, we
thanks
were,
guys
yeah.
for letting me know.
we tried for what, like a year?
Yeah, it was a whole year of just due diligence. It's just calling every number
nice.
that you see on the. Like you go into a shopping center, you see a number, you call it, you ask for a quote. All right, it needs a grease trap, it needs a hood, it needs a whole remodel, and then you either say yes or no. We apply, we get denied, and maybe we get denied for a reason. We learned that that getting denied is not too bad. If anything, it's a good thing, because then.
What did they deny you for a specific type of business that you run? Or?
It's just since we're new.
Okay.
We're a new business.
Gotcha. Trust factor.
Trust factor, but mostly the risk is like, okay, we can risk sinking like maybe 80,000 to renovate this place to our needs, like a grease trap, like a big enough grease trap. That's the biggest one. And that's taking a risk, a huge monetary risk. And it's like, do we want to risk it? And like, I mean,
potentially, what if like, we don't get enough customers the way we do, right?
Potentially, I mean, we've talked about it. It's like, it will work out, but it's like, we don't want to expand too fast, right? Because then we risk losing that customer service we have like number one, right? And that's why it's like we kind of have to slow down a little bit. But other than that, like, a big one for me that I'm pretty sure you can relate, and he doesn't relate as much because he's always the one that says just post it. Content. Like like it's like, that shot's not perfect. Like if you notice, we should have taken like a half second here to say that. But him and everyone else was like, dude, just post it. And then we'll post it. And they do perfectly fine, But for me, it's the content. since I'm the one that edits it.
Would it be would it have to do anything at all with like the identity that you want to portray or represent?
In a way, yeah, because we like doing like funny
you guys do?
funny videos.
Yep.
Yeah. But sometimes it's like, well, is this too not crude, but you get me? Like, but because
does it go above or beyond the lines?
Exactly, yeah. But I mean, for the most part, our people like know us already. Like they know
They understand it's not like it's nothing to take seriously.
Yeah, exactly.
It's for entertainment. It's for humor, right? It's for value.
Yeah. And we've noticed the more riskier it is, the better they do. You get me?
So man, I'm gonna take notes real quick.
Yeah.
You guys are popping off on social media. We're gonna dive into that a little bit, but I do want to go into the restaurant aspect, right? You got, I think the last one we had this conversation, I don't recall you guys talking about. I mean, I know you guys eventually wanted to, but you guys weren't in that phase yet.
We probably had just gone into the food truck. Right?
We weren't even in the food truck yet. The last time we were featured on here.
That's right.
Yeah, we were still in.
Wow, that went by so quick.
Well,
Jesus.
Give a short 30-second origin story of how we got here, like where we started and stuff.
So yeah, real quick, we started selling from a house. And we just decided during COVID, we were playing just video games. Decided to start doing something on our free time because
on
we
Xbox,
were just,
right?
On Xbox, we were playing Xbox, and then started brainstorming ideas. Mario was in charge of the logos, and in charge of coming up with what he even came up with the name too. And one big thing was I learned just to go with it, So that was fun. He came up with the logo, the name, all the branding, and we cumulatively started working on recipes and just try this. And in the beginning, I was always like, I got to do everything. We joke about that all the time. And then eventually just kind of learned just to let it be. And then we got our hands on a food truck, submitted all the paperwork, all the permits for it. And it took a while because at the time, everything was through mail because the actual office for the health department was shut down due to COVID. And then once we got our permit, filed all the licenses and everything, and it was a blast learning that end. And now it's flash forward 4 years into the business, and
now you guys are looking to get a restaurant. Are you guys planning to keep the truck as well, or just
the truck for sure?
Okay, cool. The truck is really like I would say a very home kind of represent identity for you guys for the time being.
We kind of took a step back from looking for a restaurant because when we were looking for a restaurant, we were still only open
we were still open
4 days.
4 days.
4 days a week, right?
Right.
So
I remember that.
We kind of had this talk. It's like, well, why are we trying to expand into a restaurant when we still have potential to expand our operating hours in the food truck?
Love that.
And now we're open 6 days a week, and our hours are like what, 8? Kind of 8 hours a day, 6 hours a day.
No, you guys are more open.
Yeah.
Since when I started, I remember I would try to go, and I'm like, damn, they're not open.
Yeah. Well, originally we were only.
I was working a job too.
Yeah. We were only open Thursday and Saturday, right?
Yeah.
Thursday and Saturday when we first started selling at his house. Slowly we added Friday, and then Sunday, and then in the food truck we slowly added Wednesday. And then Tuesday. So now we're open 6 days a week. But it's slowly we've been adding days and like extending our operating hours.
Depending on like what the spreadsheet say, right?
Exactly. Yeah.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Cool. And then now pivoting into a restaurant, obviously you guys that's the ultimate goal. I think it's funny because a lot of people who get into the food business or anything, they always want to get like a official restaurant, to officialize it. But you guys decided to get gritty and just expand on that revenue right there. So that's cool.
That's one thing we've learned. It's like sometimes a lot of business owners do something to prove to other people that, I'm an actual business. We're kind of thinking not even looking for restaurants because, like, why do we want one? We already know the food truck game, right? Yeah, it would be cool to, like, I own that restaurant. But, I mean, if you're kind of, it's another risk thing, right? It's
after looking at so many locations, we just figured that they require a lot of work. Like I mentioned, the grease trap is huge, and then after
it's a development process for sure.
After speaking to the city of Oxnard, and then the requirements and the fees that they charge, it's enough to stress you out at night. So if you can avoid that stress, and then avoid that stress,
it makes sense.
And then on top of that, you have to think about parking and the access into the restaurant. And on top of that, the rent per square foot right now is insane.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
And
not to say that anybody who wants to start a restaurant at that shop, if you have the means to do it and the drive and the dream ambition to go for it, I would say go for it.
Yeah.
But obviously, I think I like you guys is a route which is like maximize what you guys currently have and then try to expand. And also it gives you guys a opportunity to continuously occupy that market.
Exactly. Exactly. Because it's just, you don't have to, like I said earlier, right? You don't have to take the biggest leap, right? Because
everybody wants to prove something, especially when they're in business.
Exactly.
Oh, I do the same thing. Don't worry about it,
Yeah. I mean, we do it sometimes too, right? Like do certain things like, why are we doing this to prove to other people that, you get me? But I think that's with like maturing too.
For sure.
Right? Business-wise and like personal-wise.
Yeah.
But just take calculated risks. That's what it's about, right? Calculated risks. But just make sure you're taking those risks.
Yeah, I love that. And then now, what's you guys like? What are you guys trying to create with the restaurant? I mean, I'm just curious. I mean, maybe for listeners, maybe they can offer you something or work with you on something.
Well, I mean, this is another thing we've discussed. A lot of like, there's a new Chick-fil-A that opened and a new Starbucks that opened here in Oxnard.
Yep, in the collection.
They're both they don't have dining rooms.
Oh wow.
Yeah, they're both only drive-through or window service. So it's like, well, okay, let's take a step back. Why are these mega corporations that have millions of dollars to research not having dining rooms anymore? Is it not?
It's more efficient. Everybody just wants to get
exactly,
done,
right?
Yeah.
And our biggest dream is, we need a dining room.
No.
But it's like, why?
Do we need to though?
Do we need to? Exactly, right? Like, yeah, it's to satisfy like a goal we have. But it's like, well, let's kind of see what the corporations are doing, right? So that kind of changes our view on it a little bit. So right now we're back to the drawing board, like it's like let's see what we want to do.
I can see why you're the logical decision maker now.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Because I feel like I have a good balance now. I used to be more calculative. And then I started, after college, I became more creative and taking a lot more risk and, just exploring that option. And I was like, wow, I was way more happier.
Right. But when you started taking more risks, you probably grew way more, right?
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, you see, so,
I agree. In order for you to grow, you do have to take a lot of risk, especially to explore. And also, because you don't know what you don't know. I think when you start to understand the uncertainties or tap into the uncertainties that you've never been to, I think that's when real character development happens.
Yeah. Well, what's that quote? This quote I always say it in my head just because it's nice, right? It says, "Fortune favors the bold," right?
Yeah.
If you think about it, it's like, I mean, it does, because if you're willing to take risks, if you're willing to do things that a lot of people aren't, fortune is gonna favor you because, right? Yeah. So
I gotta ask now that we've identified that you're the logical one and you're the more riskier, bolder one, right? Like what I gotta ask, like, what are some ideas that you come about and you bring up to Mario and the team that you probably get like, dude, that's too crazy, or like, no, don't do that. I'm just curious.
Well, maybe one of the biggest ideas was the food truck.
Yeah,
really?
Because me, I feel like I'm a social butterfly sometimes, so I'll just be here and there, and then just like meet random people, and then eventually like a random person leads to this or that. And eventually I was like, hey, I know someone that can give us a food truck. Are you down? And at first I was like, no, I don't feel like we're ready. I was like, hey, let's go.
And that was a time when you guys were still selling from home, right?
Yeah. So then that was a big example.
Because my biggest thing that I realized and like I'm trying to improve on is like, if everything's going good, to me, it's like, why would we take risks to muddy the waters, right? If we're doing good right now, selling out of your house, why would we want to get into a food truck? That's how I was thinking back then, right? But obviously, we needed to take that next leap to grow, to get like legit, right? Because we were selling out of his house, but it wasn't legit yet.
For sure.
So it's like that probably the thing that accelerated everything. That was probably like the craziest idea. It's like, hey, let's get into a food truck. I was no.
It's going back to what we said. It's like, it's the risk that you take that constantly gets you to the next level.
Exactly.
Right? Because everything could be good, but like, what if it can be better?
Yeah. And one thing that I've noticed now with everything that we've done, and we discuss this all the time, when it's time for the next step.
Really?
Because
when do you know?
When okay, like,
sorry to interrupt.
No. For us, it's when our capacity is at its max, right?
Okay.
Like, for example, once our fridges are full of supplies, yet by the end of the week we need more supplies. When like our lines are way too long, when the wait wait time is too long,
That's a good
all
KPIs.
6 days a week, right? That's when we know, okay, now's the next step to expand, right? When we were looking at restaurants, we weren't even open all 6 days a week. We were open 4 days a week, right?
Yeah.
So we kind of noticed it's like we've done this, just me and him, right? A lot of people have tried to like buy in or like give us advice and stuff. And I mean, for the most part, it's good advice, right? They don't mean anything by it. But we've noticed it's like, you know what? We've gotten here this far, just us two discussing stuff. Let's just keep it that way, and we'll know when the next step is, you know? You'll feel it. Whatever you're doing, if you don't know whether to hire help and you run like a car wash, a detailing, you'll know when the next step is. When you're maxed out and stuff, it's like, okay, now I need someone, right?
Yeah.
So that's what I mean by calculated risks.
Love that.
Right?
Yeah, for sure. Absolutely love that. I think I totally agree with you on that. Sometimes you just gotta explore those options and see what's up. But also, like, you know, I think have a good balance. Like accountability is big too. You know. So I want to tap back into what you guys. You guys are very big in the 805 community, and you guys' video. You guys say Oxnard's, Gordo's Hot Chicken, right? And you guys play a big role with being a part of these community events, and I see that. So you guys are not just operating from a food truck. Hey, we're over here. Come check us out. But you guys are willing to play the part. You guys with Housing Gains. You guys have been organic flea market from the local events that I know of. I mean, a lot of businesses, food trucks, restaurants, you know, ideas, they fail within 3 years.
Yeah.
Right. That's like you know,
That's
usually for businesses. Like for you guys, what have been some things that have helped, that you would say that have helped like grow your business?
Well, honestly, that we've been here our whole lives, right? Like me, a big one is the toy drives, right? When I was a kid, my mom would take me, my brother, and my sister to the toy drives because we didn't have enough money sometimes for toys, right? And being as a kid, I didn't realize how impactful that was as a kid, right? But growing up, you're like, it meant a lot, right? Being able to have a toy for Christmas. Yeah. And it's just being in the community, seeing yourself in like the kids you see around, right? Like all the kids in the neighborhood.
Always happy, you know, always saying what's up.
Yeah.
And always just like waving.
Well, like all the kids on the bikes that go to the food truck.
Yeah, that's why.
Right?
Yeah. That's awesome.
Yeah.
And anything else? I mean, you guys have worked with. How do you guys even get like, you know, celebrities to come check you guys out?
To be honest, it's a big. You can't fake it, right? We are big fans of UFC, well, MMA, I guess, and boxing, right? So it's like we invite out UFC fighters that we actually like, and when you message them, the fighter, they're just regular people, right?
Yeah, for sure.
They know when you're just a business trying to promote something, or when you're an actual fan, and that's the main thing. It's you just got to be genuine, right? The same thing when we do our toy drives or school drives or like turkey drives. It's because we were once those kids, right? Because
exactly. Yeah.
We were
at the Center Point Mall.
We were once those kids, and we know how impactful it is, and we obviously want anyone in the community to like do better, right? So we obviously, I hope people know we're doing it out of like love, right? We're not doing it. Again, it sounds dumb, but money. Obviously, we run a business. We got to do things from
exactly.
But we just kind of
long term wise.
Exactly.
I mean, like I don't get anything out of this podcast.
Exactly, right?
You know,
you just like it's straight up just a feeling of like I helped someone, right?
Generosity.
Exactly.
Absolutely. And also, what I'm hearing is that, you know, if you have a business and you're trying to grow it, and if you admire somebody, you have something that you can relate with, it doesn't hurt to try and reach out.
Yep.
You know, I think a lot of people who are in business are afraid to reach out and try to collaborate with people. You guys are directly working with communities. You know, like, I mean, you guys obviously, you mentioned earlier, Mario, you guys advocate for people's growth. You want to help them. You want to make sure they grow as well. But, I mean, you know, you guys are busy, right? I mean, where do you guys stand in the line of just like, you know, being a part of the community? How do you guys balance that?
A lot of people always just reaching out for small questions, big questions.
Yeah.
I feel like we've been able to advocate a lot for our crew itself. Whenever they have questions about, you know, college or the next step after whatever they got to do. And it's always like, well, we've been through it, and then we're...
Really? So they ask you college stuff?
Yeah.
And I've noticed that. You guys started... one of the ones I've been seeing before you guys started doing the more traditional content, I pay attention, was... are you smarter than a fifth grader?
Yeah. Because a lot of kids from the neighborhoods around, which is Lemonwood and what's the other? Diamond Bar, right?
Yeah,
that's where you guys are at.
Yeah, we're in between those two neighborhoods, and those kids come and they just hang out around the truck, and we always like tell them like, what's up with school, how are you doing, we tell them it's like show us good grades and you get free food, free gear, right?
Wow.
Yeah, and it's just. I mean, it's...
Shit, I'm about to go.
Right? Because genuinely, it's just like that feeling of like, it feels good knowing these kids know that like whatever questions they have, they're in like 5th, 6th grade.
Yeah.
But I mean, long term, it's like we're here for whatever they need, right? Yeah. And it's just... And I guess moving with that, businesses... A lot of businesses always ask us, hey, can we collab with you guys? It's like, look, guys, we pay rent here. We set up our lights, it's nicely lit up. We bring the customers. You guys are more than welcome to set up your stand of whatever you want to sell and take advantage of what we've already built. The traffic we built, because it's like,
amazing.
You don't lose anything. Right. But a lot of people,
isn't that crazy? A lot of people want, like, they think they're ahead or better.
Yeah. And a lot of people think, again, just pure money wise. It's like, because if they're selling pancakes and I'm selling hot chicken, they're going to buy pancake instead of hot chicken. It's like, dude, even if they do, it's okay. Yeah. Right. So
do you guys come across people who you could kind of sense that they're doing it for clout? I mean, because sometimes I get those kind of, for me, like, like I know this is not coming from good intention. Yeah. They're not like passionate, or, this is not something they want to do. They just trying to get in front, right?
Yeah, you can sense it right away, and it's just up to you to either accept it or deny it.
Yeah.
And since we always move with clean intentions, there's drama and like politics in any industry.
Everywhere.
We always say a lot of people that run businesses in Oxnard have bigger egos than famous UFC fighters and celebrities. That's kind of weird, right? Yeah.
Isn't that crazy?
But I mean, we never take it personal. They'll send digs at us through online or like face to face, and it's just like, dude, like, we're chilling. I don't know if something else is bothering you. We're cool. Yeah, I know you like dig us, but it's like we're cool, right? Because I mean, we could be like, nah, why do you say that, right? But it's like, for what, right? In the end, we're gonna waste more energy on something negative than just letting it slide. Yeah, maybe our ego is the only thing that gets hurt, but it's fine, right?
And then we joke about it and literally say, oh, bro, I'm literally late right now. Can we keep it going?
Yeah.
That's so awesome. I mean, I love that. I love that sense of self-awareness, because because I think a lot of people do want to cater, especially as business owners. Oh, I started a business. I'm the shit. At the end of the day, you're just serving a community. You're still part of the community. Yeah. You're still part of a market, quote unquote.
Exactly. Right? You're still part of the community. Yeah. Like, why would we tear down like even like local businesses that sell the same stuff as we do? It's like, hey man, we're all from the local community. There's how many 200, 300,000 people in Oxnard alone? Dude. Wait, there's enough for everyone, dude. Like, so we're chilling, right? Now. Right. And Oxnard keeps growing. It's like, I promise you, if we all work together, it'll benefit everyone.
Can I tell you, I remember speaking to one of my mentors who works for a big marketing agency, and he mentioned, like, he would work with like big restaurant franchises, and he would tell me, like, if all the taco shops just worked with each other, with the amount of people around them, they would have so much money. Yeah. Yet they fight against each other. Yeah, and then all these like big corporate franchises and companies occupy that market because they just have more marketing budget. But imagine all these people just work closely together. Yeah. They can acquire more collectively. Yep. And plus, they're not gonna be like, hey, I spent my money on Gordo's hot chicken. I'm not gonna spend any more on these taco shops. Yeah. Bro, like, that doesn't make any sense. They're gonna crave something differently.
Yes, that's the thing. It's just, it's not, when you truly think about it, it's like, dude, there's so much factors into a customer that us working with each other, even though we sell food, it's fine. Yeah. It benefits both of us, right? But I don't know. It's kind of hard.
But it is interesting, though, because I always try to operate from good intentions. Because the moment I do feel like I'm going from bad intentions, at least I'll be upfront with it.
And okay,
bad behavior,
right? But like you said, you work your whole life with good intentions, right? So at the end of the day, when you're sleeping, when you're about to go to sleep, you're like, hey, go to sleep. I have no enemies. I do as much good as I can. it's okay, right?
Best feeling ever.
That's one of the best feelings ever. But when you're like, man, if I run into him, then I'm like you're like, dude, just chill. It's okay. There's
chip on your shoulder kind of thing.
Yes. We always say that there's just people that have a chip on their shoulder, and sometimes it's like it's out of their control. Yeah. That's why it's also easier to like. It's like it's okay. We don't know what they're going through. You get me?
But, yeah. I try to like release. You know, I always try to find the way to just like let go of those I guess bad intentions or kind of like just bad impressions of people. Because I let myself go of things that I can't control.
Exactly. That's all you can do, right? Yeah.
And then that's what lets me sleep at night. If that direction works best for you, perfect. Yeah. But hey, I'm gonna be over here. When you're ready, let's go.
Exactly, because that's the thing. It's happened multiple times where like they'll like talk bad about us or whatever. And
who would talk bad about you guys? Come on.
You'd be surprised. But then like months later, like we run into them at an event or something. And,
hey, how you doing?
Yeah, but like, look, to us, it's like, dude, it's fine. You might have been going through something that day. But like over here, we're always gonna be there with like, if you need help and we can help you, we're gonna help you. Right?
I love that compassion. Yeah. I feel the same way. Sometimes I do get kind of, I've gotten a very few feedback of this from only close friends who can only see it. That I can get very, very what's the word I'm looking for?
Petty or
not petty, but very. I come off strong.
Okay.
Because I care.
Yeah.
But not because like, I'm trying to diss anybody. But I do. But then, I realize, okay, that might have been going too hard. Then I have to realize, okay, maybe they're not ready for that type of compassion or feedback yet. Then I have to be like, okay.
But in the end, we're all human, right?
Yeah. Absolutely.
Obviously, we say all this, but I mean, we also, we all have an ego, right? And unfortunately, ego gets in the way of a lot of things.
Self-awareness.
Yeah. But I mean, we're all human, right? And we all have bad days.
Yeah.
Like one thing I notice I do a lot is if I'm running late to somewhere, like I'll be driving and I'll be like, get the fuck away. You get me? But then it's like, hey, the only reason you're late is because it's my fault, right?
Yeah.
So it's like, just chill, right? And then
it's I apply like your fault,
Yeah, I apply that to other people, right? It's like if that person was mean to us, they were going through something, right? But yeah,
great compassion. Unless maybe they're just shitty people.
Maybe that's
in
the thing.
General, right? Yeah, okay, get away from me.
Right? Yeah. Yep.
Okay, so then going back, I'm a big advocate. I love you guys' social media.
Thank you.
Obviously, I run a marketing agency. I'm a big advocate for social media content.
Yeah.
For you guys, obviously, there's so much room for businesses to grow through social media. But like they lack, or maybe they just don't have time, or maybe they just don't want to do it, or they don't believe in it. For you guys, like what's working, or like how do you guys approach social media as part of your brand and marketing strategy?
Well, he knows when I would try to film longer videos and like a bunch of edits, I would be like stressed. It's like, I need to leave because I need to finish this video because I got to post it by 6. And it would take me like a week, 2 weeks to edit. So then one thing we started doing is like we all look for like those trendy videos.
Small, short videos.
Love that take nothing to edit. And they do way better than the ones I would spend weeks on editing. Yeah. But I mean, it's like you slowly learn. And just posting memes and stuff, right?
Honestly, yeah, because I feel like once we stopped really trying to perfect everything, that's when it started working out a little bit better, because in the beginning it was always like super like cleaned up, super professional as far as like the typing, the using Grammarly and everything just to make sure everything's perfect. And then we got into a point where it's just like, bro, like we're speaking to our friends,
like you're losing more money or put opportunity
or
than
time
trying
to But in a way, it's like we're speaking to our friends whenever we post anything, so we have to keep the tone of voice like catered to
that audience.
To that.
Absolutely. Yeah. It's funny because that's something I had to learn quickly too. It's like I wanted to provide these types of quality of videos or content for my clients, but some can't afford it. But it's like there is a way to balance out what you can do at a fast rate, because obviously people always want quality over quantity, right? Or rather, if you go quantity, the assumption is that you lose quality.
Yeah.
But in actuality, quality is not determined by you. It's quality determined by your audience.
Yeah, exactly.
And I think there's also, for me, you learn what quality can you go without compromising overdoing it.
Because, okay, I'm pretty sure you can relate. For a long, long time, I thought quality for like social media videos was length.
Yeah.
The longer, the higher quality.
Yeah.
But it's not that. Like you said, sometimes the quality is just like how you set things up. And the video can be 5 seconds and perfect quality, right?
Yeah. It's crazy. Yeah, that type of thought process has changed my game for marketing on social media and how to grow other businesses brands. That's awesome. Yeah. Okay, and then as far as like for people who are struggling, how to get into it. I mean, what advice would you guys give for other business owners who are struggling to grow their business through social media?
Just trying new ideas. I feel like going with the trends and with what's popular at the time, and kind of paying attention to what's popular at the moment is a big factor, because if you try to do like a video that's like you can include rolling shots of your business or like aerial views,
unless you're ready for that, hire someone or my team. I got you guys.
No, exactly. But sometimes if you just need to get something out quick, just post it. Absolutely. Just be consistent.
I do agree with the aspect of just doing a little bit more research. Just look at what everybody's doing, and then kind of create something similar to that.
It's all one big payback.
and commit. Like one thing I always tell the boys, right? Whenever we're gonna film something, like I always tell them, "Are you vulnerable? Are you ready to be vulnerable?" Because you gotta commit to your the bit, right?
I love that.
Yeah. Oh well, I even this is interesting because I saw that a video went viral, but it went viral for the wrong reasons. But it probably went viral properly. So they were filming a video like one of the
if it went viral, it went properly.
But it was one of the funny videos that we shoot. It was the bucket where they threw the bucket at the people, and then in that video the people didn't get wet at all. So all the comments were bad, but the comments being bad turned out to make the video viral. So exactly,
love that.
So But it goes back to what he's saying. Is just commit, get into character, kind of just like breathe a little bit.
Right.
Because the audience wants to see you have fun. Because you can tell when someone's just kind of like, I'm just doing this because it's viral. But if they can see that you're having fun, they're gonna like that, right? So
okay, awesome. Yeah. I want to pivot towards people who are trying to start a business, or maybe they're in the gist of that, right? Obviously, we're all involved in it. We know that this is gonna be a part of us, right? If you were to go back into maybe like your younger self, or maybe when you were just thinking about maybe even before college, right? Let's do that. Like when you were a little kid, what would be things that you would tell yourself to that 5-year-old kid? Let's start with you, Mario.
Okay. For sure, I would say the way I got to where I am right now, where I'm super happy with what we built and stuff.
Yeah.
Throw as many things as you want at the wall, and whatever sticks, go with that, right? Because my first entrepreneurial thing I did, was when I was like growing up, like maybe 12, I would fix computers.
Oh, okay.
Which fixing computers was just
so you're a techie.
To a point, right? My uncle or my cousins would be like, "Hey, my computer's running slow." I would just reset it or like buy them RAM and plug it in, right?
Yeah.
But that was before people built PCs and stuff, and people didn't know how to use computers, kind of. When like Windows XP was still a thing. I don't know how old or young the people listening are. Yeah, but that's what I started with, right? After that kind of like wore off and people knew how to use computers, I started buying things at their store and flipping them. Yeah. This was way before now it's super trendy, right?
Yeah.
Maybe like I was in
there is a market now. Yeah. There's a big market for this now.
Yeah. And like I remember my best thing, I bought a Windows, the Microsoft Office 2005 or 2003.
Yeah.
I bought it for like 25 cents.
Wow.
And I sold it for like $100, I think, locally, right? Like through Craigslist. So I was like, oh, this works, right? And then after that, I want to do the engineering, then the marketing, and then like we ended up somehow selling chicken, and you get me? GHC. So we try to, we're still doing it. We try to like do I guess like content, social media content.
Okay.
Yeah. One thing we're doing now is trading stocks, right? And just keep throwing things at the wall and whatever sticks, just go with that. Yeah.
Love that. What about you, Alex?
It's really similar. Honestly, growing up, always trying different things. My parents, they would do the Swami, which is the flea market at Oxford College and Ventura College. And I would always help, but at the time, it was more of a mundane task of just kind of waking up on Saturday and Sunday mornings and going. But then eventually you kind of realize there's like, well, I mean, that's going to pay for dinner tonight, I guess. So might as well just help out a little bit, you know? But yeah, we were there for a while. Then we started doing taco caterings on the weekends. So once I was old enough, I started washing cars on my own in front of my house. Then mowing lawns. Then got
Damn, bro. So you had a hard working great in your DNA.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So I always liked to work. I was always working with my parents, you know.
Love that.
And then, but I also realized that like trying to balance too many things led to me not focusing on one exactly important thing. So I feel like just trying to find like what's actually important. And once you find what's important and what's going to give you the most in return, just stick to that in reality. Because if you try to juggle like 4 different balls at once, you're gonna lose 2 or all of them. You know,
isn't that interesting? I think it's interesting that you guys say this, knowing that you're the logical one and the bolder one. You're saying to find the one thing that works, and him is like put everything out there.
Yeah. But I mean, that's why we work, right? It's just like covering each other's weak points.
Because you understand, like, okay, that is a component that I can work on. You know, it's funny. It's the same thing for me, right? Now I hated being organized. I hated kind of like, trying to put things together and, doing the little things. Yeah. But now it's like, oh, okay, cool. I can find ways to systemize that shit, you know?
Exactly. Yeah. Yeah. And
you'll see if you talk to people who are in the shop, they'll be like, oh, yeah. Dude.
Yeah. Well, I've seen your spreadsheets or your calendars. And it looks badass, but like I get stressed out just like, yeah. Right.
Awesome. Well, I do appreciate you guys for coming back. Yeah. I'm having a really great conversation. I definitely want to see now, like, with you guys' experience and how has everything been. Where are you guys where is Gordo's Hot Chicken going to now?
Maybe just for sure. Maybe 7 days a week open, right? Yeah. Before we take the next step, just because it's like we're almost there, right? Might as well just take the leap and then see how operating on Mondays is, and then maybe start thinking of a restaurant because obviously we would want to be open 7 days a week. Okay. And I think for now that, right, just kind of slowly
for the most part, we feel like there's still a lot of improvements that we can do. Every week we kind of try to improve, whether it's like this little recipe here or this flow of operation over here. And I feel like there's always going to be something to learn and something to improve on. So I feel like we still need a lot to improve on before we take the next step.
Right on. And then do you guys see like Gordo's Hot Chicken becoming a long-term business for you guys, or is that something?
For sure. I feel like at this point it's I mean,
it's like part of you now, right?
Yeah. Okay. It is us, you know.
Yeah, it's me. I am Gordo's Hot Chicken. And I love that.
The cool thing is that it's exciting when you look at how you're doing things and you're like, okay, I see all those ways we prep. There's room for improvement in that where it'll save us a bunch of time. And I, as a business owner, it's either you save time or you save money. You can't do both. Yeah. Sometimes you can do both, but it's time or money, right? When you notice things where you can save time or money, it's exciting. And then we look at our system. We've improved on a lot, right? To be faster. Yes. Without dropping the quality. And it's just like, okay, we have these certain things that we can still improve on. Once those are improved, once we're open 7 days a week, we can focus on the next step.
I love that. You guys are definitely business and entrepreneurs, always looking to better yourself. Okay, so it might be a challenging question. If you guys were to be in this like large, like McDonald's or Burger King or like a large business franchise, which I'm looking forward to seeing that grow. If there was one word that you guys want to represent for Gordo's Hot Chicken, what would that be? And you guys can have 2 different answers. I'm not judging. Don't worry.
I guess mine. Okay, I know mine. Okay, welcoming, because I experienced this many times. It was mostly barbers take note at barbershops throughout high school. Yeah, I would walk into a barbershop, everyone would be cutting hair, no one would look at you. It's like, dude, what is this vibe right here? Like,
it's changed a lot.
Yeah, the barbershops now, like they're all doing like perfect. You get me? But back then, I think that influenced me a lot. It's like you would walk into a barbershop or sometimes mechanic shops. where else? Sometimes restaurants too, to be honest with you. Absolutely. And no one greets you. Like,
it's
you're
like, bro, I'm human. Yeah. I'm not just here for money. I'm here for experience.
Yeah, exactly. It's like, okay, do I sit myself down? Is there a list? Absolutely. Do I wait? You get me? So welcoming. That's the number one thing. Mm-hmm. Yeah, we try.
Welcoming. All right. What about you, Alex? What do you
think? Maybe it might be just like giving.
Giving?
Yeah. Honestly, I feel like there's a lot of situations where people can't, can't really get a plate. And we experience it. We don't really talk about it. We don't really like to boast about it because it's just like, I'm not going to talk about this right now, but are you hungry? Take some food. Yeah. And honestly, that's really it because it's a good feeling on my end. And knowing that person has enough to eat for today, maybe tomorrow too. And I think it's a big thing because whether it's a kid, a grown person, a person my age, as long as they have something in their stomach at the end of the night, that's important.
Wow.
So, yeah.
It's fun. I find it interesting because both of those values or key words that you guys represent, you guys already embody, Yeah. Okay, cool. Before I close this podcast episode out, I actually have a gift for you guys. Give me a second.
Okay. Sweet.
All right, let me set this up.
Let's see.
All right, so A+ Branding gave you guys a gift. We've
always talked about that.
Yeah.
Too.
So they got you guys actually, I'm gonna go on this side. This is where the camera is. A apron with Gordo's hot chicken on it. It's a direct to film transferred of your logo.
That's badass.
So this is for you guys.
Appreciate it. Yeah.
Yeah.
That one's going on the wall.
Honestly, we're not gonna touch this. We're gonna put it on the wall.
Perfect. Yeah. Cool. So I just want to give you guys that appreciation for being a part of this podcast, but also A+ supports what we have out here as well.
Thank you.
Cool. Awesome. So for anybody tuning in, where can they find you guys? I mean, obviously, if you don't know, then you need to get out of the rock.
So for sure, just our Instagram, Gordo's Hot Chicken.
Right.
And come try us, and if you like it, leave us a review. If you don't, you can leave a review, but give us a second chance.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool. Awesome.
And honestly, just look us up on Google or Apple Maps, and you'll find us.
Hell yeah. That's it. Love that. Cool. Well, I appreciate you guys for coming back on a segment episode. I'm so glad, to have you guys in here. And I talk about this all the time to my other guests. One of the reasons why I love this thing is because I also get to hear people's stories from how they started and where they become. And then I get to reinvite them, kind of rekindle that. And I love seeing shit get built.
Well, it's cool that we always talk about how this episode is so different from the first one because the first one I guess we hadn't even been in the food truck, and now we're like close to maybe.
Yeah, you guys were in the process of that, yeah. So that's so cool. You guys skip like 2 stages.
Yeah, and I feel like we could write a book about everything that we experienced ever since then.
Oh my gosh, yes, that would be awesome. Yeah. Cool, awesome. Well, again, thank you guys for joining us on the episode here. Hope you guys, for anybody listening, hope you guys enjoyed it. We'll see you guys in the next episode.
Thank you guys.
Thank you.